All right, so you want the Gibson story? I will give you the Gibson story, but FYI, just please don't come for me. I know I'm a little bit late to the party, but let's call it fashionably late. So the other day, I'm just sitting here minding my own business, just plotting as I usually do, how I'm gonna somehow finesse a date with the incredible singer-songwriter and guitarist, her. No, dude, I can feel it. She's gonna respond this time. And I get a call from one of my musical friends who's super talented. His name is Andrew.
People say Andrew Masters is one of the great guitar players of our time. I didn't say that, but people say that.
Oh, yes.
And again, they say, well, he's won contests.
And he says to me,
Mike, come over, bro. We need to hang out.
I say, okay. So right as I'm about to head over, I think to myself, dang, I've been friends with this dude for like years and I've never actually shown him my favorite Telecaster. It's time to bring it over and like show him what's up. And as soon as I get it out of my bag and I'm about to plug it in, he goes, wait. And I was like, what is it? And he goes,
oh, dude, I gotta show you this guitar. You've never seen it before.
So I say to him, no way, Jose. And he brings it out.
Oh, we got the Gibson?
Yeah, check this out. Have you heard of Gibson?
Once or twice.
Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, the Les Paul Standard, like one of the most legendary guitars of all time. And I was like, is that real? And he was like, yeah. And so I do what anyone does when they first get a Les Paul Standard, what I think any guitar player should do in that situation. I get out my pick and I play the soundtrack to the Goofy movie. Yeah, that was my go-to lick for a new electric guitar. All right, so we're here, and it's literally beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful guitar. It looks exactly how a Les Paul should look. But it's one of those things where with this specific model, you go into guitar stores and you see on the wall, you see Les Paul Standard, at least for me, and it's usually locked up because it's one of their most expensive guitars. So when I've gone to guitar stores in the past, I've been like, yeah, I'm not even gonna try with this guitar. I'm not even gonna tell them to take that down. So holding it here is pretty cool. And I think just with the expectations in my mind of what a Les Paul is supposed to be, I think I went in thinking it was gonna be like having a 25-pound brick consistently chained to your back and I was just gonna have back problems. And it is definitely heavier than some of my other axes, but it's not as bad as I thought. And I think that's just because of like expectations. So with different guitars, you start to notice different things. And one of the things that I noticed with that Tele that I mentioned earlier is that it's like very high output. So that guitar is all about dynamics. If you want to get a clean tone versus breakup, it's really just about how much you push with your fingers. And with the humbuckers, especially with a Les Paul Standard, when I was trying to get the clean tone, I noticed how many like variations you could get because it's even more of a dynamics-based guitar. When I wanted that clean tone, it was about setting the gain very low, pushing a little bit lighter, but even then I was still getting a little breakup and I started to like that. Then definitely once I got to like the middle pickup, I was able to see what it can do. But that's really just because clean tones are what intrigues me about a Les Paul. When you think of a Les Paul, you think about the Les Paul thing, the bridge pickup, you think about those classic rock tones, the solo thing. But I'm really interested in what a guitar can do in the places where someone like myself today might not usually think about it. So I really like the clean tones. Then I just pushed it. I cranked the gain through the AC-15. And once I got to soloing, once I got to the higher gain stuff, I was like, this is what a Les Paul is all about. It's about these tones right here. So like I said, and with everything that I stated before, it was obvious that once I put it on the high gain, the Les Paul did the Les Paul thing, and I loved that sound. But it's one of those things where I really started to think about it when I really started to get a big picture of the standard of this guitar, because I've owned a Les Paul for the past year. This is my Les Paul Tribute. And although the high E string is broken and that's going to drive me nuts until I finally take the time to just slap on a new pair of strings, when it comes to value, like just getting bang for your buck for a guitar, I've thought for a while that that was the best Les Paul. Not saying it was the best sounding Les Paul necessarily, but for someone like me who's not necessarily using a Gibson or a Les Paul as their first main guitar, that might be the go-to. But I think one of the cool things about having friends who are also guitar players and into music is getting different perspectives. So I told that to my friend Andrew, and he actually had some differing opinions on there that actually challenged me quite a bit.
What do you like least amount about it?
It's nothing to do with the standard in particular. It would be more to do with just like, I'm not a main Les Paul guy. And a Les Paul not being my first main guitar, I think I would be a person who would like be more likely to go with like a tribute than to go like dive into the deep end with a standard.
Okay.
Like what do you think about that?
Now, is this because of the cost? Are you talking about specifically the price tag, or the way it sounds, the way it plays?
Specifically the price, simply just because, like I said, it's not going to be my main guitar.
Sure. Yeah. If you're just looking at the number of what it costs, then I understand that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at that point, you can get an Epiphone Les Paul or something like that. You know, it depends on why you have it. In my case, the reason why I went with the one that I went with, I've always been a Strat guy. Always. And I've always even had a Squier Strat, and I've loved it. I still love it. And now I have the American Pro 2 Strat, and I love that too. It's the single coil, doesn't have the humbuckers. But I've always played rock music. Always loved the sound of a humbucker because I'm so focused on production and making records and the sound of like, how do you make guitars sound big? Well, generally speaking, it's safe to say that you do that by using two different guitars, very different guitars. If you use two Strats, it's not going to sound big. I just know, grab a Strat and grab a Les Paul, and it's there. Now we can focus on the music and the parts. I think it depends on, if you're just like, I want to have something close to this and I don't like spending money and I don't care enough to spend that much money, then of course. If you are a working producer, if you are a working engineer and guitar player, and your business that you make money from is more efficient and higher quality by blowing more money on that guitar, the buy once, cry once thing, but now you have a Les Paul that sounds rock and roll until you sell it or don't have it anymore, you instantly make that money back.
Yeah.
So for me, it's less of looking at the number and it's more of, is it the right tool for the job so that I can get the job?
So thinking about what he said, I actually got a lot of thoughts, a lot of things circulating around my mind about like why the standard is so much of a popular guitar even today. Like the Les Paul doing the Les Paul thing. And I love that this is a guitar that doesn't pretend to be any other guitar. It is your dual humbucker, Gibson standard with the burst buckers. And I think it's pretty fire. But anyway, I want to know what you guys think. What is your go-to Les Paul? What do you think is the best thing they make on the market right now, both for value and for just wanting to get like the best of the best tone possible? Thank you so much for watching. If you want to know anything more about any of this gear, make sure to check out the links in the description. Make sure to like and subscribe if you had a good time, and most important of all, have a fantastic day. Then maybe love is the reason why